Hi and welcome back. So that was a very large project that we did for the quilting frame. I'm still working on getting everything done. Honestly, I've put everything away and I'm waiting for inspiration to bring it all back out to redo it. I am looking for a different sewing machine for that. They're expensive. I'm not gonna lie, they're like $1,000. And I am probably going to be next year before I can afford one. So in the meantime, it's soup season. Now, we did have a storm come through here a couple of days ago. Lots of water, lots of rain, and lots of cooling down. So now we are in our 1 week of fall before winter starts. Or it's false fall and we still have 90-degree weather before winter starts. Depends on the year, but I've got a feeling that we're just going to go into winter. So I need to get my garlic planted, and we are going to go ahead and use up some of the squash that I have. We're going to do some butternut squash. This is my recipe. It does mimic everybody else's recipes. Honestly, I may or may not do it the same, but I am doing this recipe free and not referencing any websites or anything else. This is my own, technically. So let's get started. First, you want to roast all your vegetables. Okay, so I am going to go ahead. I have 2 butternut squash here. I'm going to roast these in the skin and then scoop out everything. I'm also going to go ahead and roast some garlic. I do not have any full heads of garlic, but we're going to go ahead and add some cloves of garlic. 2 onions. I'm going to quarter these and put them in the oven with the squash and all the other vegetables. I have 1 little itty bitty red jalapeno that came out of the garden. I do need to take a look to see if there's any more ripe. I did plant jalapenos this year. Didn't do great because it didn't get hot enough for long. So I have little ones that I am fermented and going to make some chili oil with that on the next video. I've been saving my cherry tomatoes for this because I like squash soup. We're going to also roast these along with some salt, pepper, and some herbs. So let's go ahead and get these chopped up. I'm going to go ahead and deseed the jalapeno and add this just right on the tray, just like that. Get all the seeds out, plant the seeds later, and put it on the tray. I already have garlic. Here's the jalapeno. The tomatoes. Now the tomatoes are frozen, so they're going to take a little bit longer to dehydrate and roast, which is fine because we can take these off a little bit at a time so things don't burn. The onions, we're just going to go ahead and take the skins off, chop them up, maybe quarter it, because we're going to be blending all this into a nice creamy soup anyway. So there's no real need to chop these up tiny and put it in the tray. Now, one thing you can do with this recipe, you can can it. You can also freeze it. I have one of those silicone kind of like tray, one of the silicone trays that has the squares in them that are about a cup each. So they're perfect for serving sizes. You can get those off of Amazon, Temu, wherever you get your stuff. Butternut squash is a little bit different. You want to cut its neck off. Cut the ends. And then split down the middle. We're going to go ahead and set these on the trays side up to roast. I do have a little bit of goop over here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out before I put it on the tray. For the bottom end, you want to split this in half without everything sliding. Yes, I did not put a towel underneath this because I'm not thinking straight. I need more coffee. Scoop out the seeds. You can save the seeds either for roasting or for planting. And then put this on the tray face up. Now we are going to go ahead and put these in a slow broil. Put some olive oil all over everything. I need a refill. And then some nice crunchy salt. I have my smoked salt that I did last year that I'm trying to use up so I can do more because it is becoming Super Bowl season here pretty soon, and that's usually whenever I do my smoked salt for the year. Make snackies, do some barbecue outside, you know, all the patriotic things, because I usually don't follow football during the season, but I will watch the Super Bowl, and it's not just for the commercials. I generally enjoy watching the Super Bowl because of the energy. And some of the commercials are not that bad either. This gets roasted in the oven. Keep an eye on it because some of these are going to be done before the others, especially the squash. Okay, so we can go ahead and pull these off a little bit at a time, and because everything does need to be cooled down before we continue making this soup. Pro tip, don't get your flu shot whenever you have something in the oven, even if it's on a low broil. We're going to have a little bit of a char. That's okay. We do want them roasted, not burnt. Some of this burnt. Not supposed to do this. Don't make my same mistakes. Still, it's going to taste good though. Got our blender out. Because, like I said, we're going to go ahead and make this into a smooth soup. You do want some chicken stock, turkey stock, something light. This is turkey broth. I'm going to use, if you want to and make this vegetarian or even vegan, you can use vegetable stock. This is the tomato juice that I gleaned off that box of tomatoes that I reduced and dehydrated. and made into sauce. So I still have the tomato juice from that. I can use this here as well. Basically, all we're going to do is scoop out the butternut squash and separate it from the skin. And put it in the blender. We're going to need to do these in batches because it's going to be a lot of soup. So we have about half the squash in here. We're going to take about half of the onions, garlic and tomatoes. Like I said, some of these are nice and crispy. And garlic. I'll put the jalapeno in this one because we're all going to be blending this all together. So it'll all go into the same pot. But I also want to put in about 2 cups of the broth, which is about half a quart. And we're going to blend this smooth. And we're going to go dump it into a big pot and get the rest of it in. Now on the last one, I am actually going to put in some herbs. So that way it all blends in. A little bit of turmeric. Maybe a half a teaspoon for the whole entire batch. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, which is all I have. I need to get more. Alright, a little bit of thyme. About 2 teaspoons. And if you want to add more spice to this, you can put in some smoked paprika or some cayenne. I already have that jalapeno in here, so I don't need to add those. Now here is the secret ingredient. Okay, you're going to want some chicken bouillon. Use any brand you wish. If you are salt-free, then get the salt-free kind. But you're going to need that intense flavor. And because we've got 2 squashes in here, we are going to put in a whole 1/4 cup. Now, if you've only got 1 squash, then half that, obviously. It's about 2 to 3 tablespoons for an 1/8 of a cup. Other than that, you need to add that. Now, let's blend. We're going to add other spices to this, just not this time. We're going to go ahead and pour this in. Mix it with the one without the spices. Stir it up, and you do want to taste test. You need to see if there's enough salt in here. We're going to add pepper or black pepper here shortly. Stir it all up, mix it all up, and the consistency is what you want of it. For me, this is a little bit thick. I do want this a little bit thinner, so I'm going to add that tomato juice that I have just to thin it out. And this also adds a little bit of flavor to it too. Now I could strain the black bits out, but you know what? We need a little bit of charcoal in our diet. Helps bring out the demons. So that was 1 quart of turkey stock, 1 pint of tomato juice, with all those vegetables. And we have the perfect consistency now. We're just warming this up. And the spices are, these spices are to taste. A little bit of pepper. I'm putting in about a teaspoon. Now, the turkey broth actually had salt in it already, so mine doesn't need salt, but salt to taste. Let that warm up. Now that we're all nice and warmed up, we can go ahead and plate. Yours may look a little bit different. Mine's got a little bit of that burnt stuff in it. Not gonna kill you. Now, optional. Okay, you can add some toppings to this. I've got a little bit of chili oil. I got it at the flea market with my sister. I've been babying this because I got it 2 years ago and I'm halfway done. Drizzle that on here. You can add some pumpkin seeds. Now, you can use regular whipped cream. I'm using coconut cream because of dietary restrictions. I can't digest lactose. But that's a me thing. You do you. And a little bit of drizzle. It is a wonderful thing. Now, I did make enough for the entire week for a family of 4, if you have it every day. You can freeze these. Like I said, put them in little Ziploc bags, 1 cup at a time, 1 serving at a time. The sandwich bags work great because you can smush them and freeze them flat. If you want to, you can go on Amazon and get the ones with the little bricks, kind of like ice. They're kind of like ice cube trays that you can freeze things into, and you can, freeze it that way and put it all in 1 big bag, which I've done with another squash. Or you can these. Now, even though it is a vegetable soup, it still has the turkey stock in it. It still has the chicken bouillon in it, which may contain meat depending on the type of stock powder that you use. Now, depending on the type of chicken bouillon that you use. So whenever you're putting this away, you're going to want a little bit of more like stock times. Now, stock times are not meat times. You're going to, for a water bath, you're going to want to boil for 1 hour. Any size jar. Or whenever, if you do pressure can this, you're going to want to add 10 minutes. So for pints, it'll be 35 minutes. And for quarts, it'll be 45 minutes. This is not the end of my soup season. We have Thanksgiving coming up, and that is my season. There's a reason why I am doing the butternut squash. You know those little decorative pumpkins that you get in the grocery store? They're about that big around and, that tall. Well, those are actually edible. I do get all the shellac off of them and cook them, and then I put soup inside of the pumpkin. So not only do we have soup, but we also have cooked pumpkin to go along with the soup and treat it kind of like a side dish. I also do a full Thanksgiving turkey giveaway. Now, this is the turkey, the stuffing, all the fixings to be able to make a traditional Thanksgiving meal. I get one. I buy for one family. I put it on Facebook and say, come get it. If more people were able to do this who could purchase this and hand it out, I do believe we'd be able to at least get the people who are food sensitive right now what they need to be able to have at least a family gathering, something special for them, because this is ridiculous. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.